Is loud and hopping here at Williams Arena. These Lynx fans ready for a winner-take-all Game 5 between Minnesota and LA. As we welcome you back courtside here, Ryan Ruocco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. You know, we've seen intense atmospheres. We've seen these two teams play so tightly over the last couple of years. But is there a different level of nerves when it comes to a Game 5 like this?
I think there's a different level of energy. You can feel it in the arena right now. I don't think they're any more nervous than they were for Games 1 through 4, especially for Game 4, because that could have ended the series. The teams are ready to play, and this crowd is ready to cheer them on.
Well, these teams couldn't have played more closely than they have over their last 12 meetings, quite literally. 908 to 908 over the last two finals and the 2017 regular season. Taking a look at the starting lineups, beginning with the visiting LA Sparks. It is Beard, Gray, Sims, Parker, and Agumake, led by Brian Agler. And for the Minnesota Lynx, they have the front court of Fowles, Brunson, and Moore, in the backcourt of Whalen and Augustus, led by Cheryl Reeve. Fowles and Agumake will jump it up. The Lynx and the Sparks, and another Game 5 is underway. LA took last year 77-76 in a beautifully designed play that just didn't bear fruit at the end as Parker missed the layup. Here's Brunson, had an active Game 4. Can't start Game 5 with a bucket, and Parker looking to push. Sims to her left. Parker has it poked out of bounds from behind by Maya Moore.
Both clean teams playing man-to-man defense, and what have we seen early? Both teams trying to get touches in the paint, being in attack mode. They both thrive when they can get touches in the paint.
Here's Sims. On the drive, floats it up and off, and the rebound to Maya Moore. Couple of good looks inside on the first two possessions for LA. Here's Brunson, another try.
And we're seeing what we saw throughout the course of the first 4 games. Rebecca Brunson is going to be a key. She is the player that LA helps off of to give a double team towards Sylvia Fowles.
She had 18 points, 13 rebounds in the Game 4 win. Shot clock is at 7. Gray on the drive, scoops it up and off, Fowles the rebound. Knocked away by Beard, good hands as she worked on Moore. Here's Sims cutting through traffic. Parker in rhythm, a 3 is off, and Moore the rebound. LA has missed their first 4 from the floor as Maya Moore just went backcourt. Yeah, Moore tossed that cavalierly in the backcourt to Whalen, and Minnesota turns it over.
2 turnovers in a row now for Minnesota. And LA, when they've been effective, they've done a great job defensively, getting deflections and getting the basketball and going the other way.
LA Sparks led the WNBA in turnovers forced and points off of turnovers. This season, every team who's won the points off of turnover battle has won the contest. Regular season and finals. Second to shoot. Beard trying to hook inside. Threw it away. Whalen, the lob. Fowles, the shovel. Brunson can't finish. It volleys around. Agumake feisty underneath. And a foul. The bucket will not count.
2 teams that know each other so well. They know what their opponent is going to be running, and that's going to could make for some ugly basketball here. Nice passing, relentless nature of Minnesota. That's what we saw in Game 4, all over the glass. 21-5 was the second chance points advantage for Minnesota in Game 4.
It was the most second chance points that LA gave up in any game this season. 16 offensive rebounds for Minnesota in that game. Shot clock at 5. Whalen draws 2. Brunson nearly traveled, now spins, floats, and hits. Nothing start for Minnesota. Sims alone, a 3, off the mark, long rebound Augustus. And LA has missed their first 5 shots. Whalen will take. You bet. 7-0 start for Minnesota and a timeout LA.
Sims and Gray is going to be the key to this game tonight. It's been the key for that team for a long, long time. Let's not forget, I know Parker's a hell of a player. I know Ogumake. I get all that, but it's these two that control this thing. So we got to get up in our pick and roll defense. Biggs, you guys got to be up there, right? I don't want to find out about Gray. Let's not get the fire lit.
Ryan, as much as it pains me to say it and here, we know championships are won by guards, simply. And because they control the basketball, they handle the basketball, the ball is in their hands for much of the game, as you see Sims getting the dribble penetration.
And throws it away, out of the timeout. And now Moore is found on the other end by either Beard or Parker. It's Elena Beard who will get hit with it. And you see that situation with Sims. We talked with Brian Agler before the game about the trust level he has with Odyssey Sims. And he said, look, of course there's some question marks because I've only had her a year. I've never had her in this spot before. But she has to play aggressive. That's when she's at her best.
Remember, she's the only starter in these finals who wasn't playing in the finals a season ago.
Good touch pass from Gray, and Parker puts in LA's first bucket.
It's where Candace Parker thrives, in the open floor. And she's not been very good from the three-point line throughout the course of the finals. Now 3 of 18 from 3. But she can really score inside.
Augustus, no. Fouls on the offensive glass. And then throws it away, but Beard is going to lose it back to Minnesota. Back to Parker in transition.
Candace Parker at 6'4", runs like a smaller player. When she gets the ball, she can handle and just beats the other bigs down the floor. This is really where Candace Parker thrives.
That was one of the things Elena Beard pointed out to us as well. How important it was for Parker to be in control as Moore lays it in on the back door.
Making LA pay for the overplay. We go back door, and they were able to do that successfully in Game 4 as well.
That was something you highlighted for us in the pregame show. Here's Sims with Ogumake on the roll, knocked out of bounds off of Minnesota. 8 to shoot for LA. We asked Cheryl Reeve to fill in the blank. The Minnesota Lynx will win the title tonight if blank happens. She said, defend and rebound at a high level. So far in this first quarter, Minnesota has.
You love that fill in the blank game.
I miss Mad Libs. That's really what it comes down to. Gray has to heave it up. Nearly brought rain. Did scrape the rim. But another strong defensive possession for Minnesota. Whalen maybe got away with a carry, but then lost it anyway. And here comes Parker. 3-on-1. Parker the no-look. The touch pass back from Gray to Parker for 2.
The more times LA can get that, the more successful they will be. Candace Parker, 6'4" forward, but she is another ball handler on the floor for the Sparks.
He had 28 points, 12 rebounds, en route to the MVP of last year's finals in that Game 5 performance. And now a foul away from the ball against Minnesota as the Lynx turn it over.
And this is where Candace Parker is different from most forwards in the league. Whether it's off the steal or off a defensive board, she doesn't have to find an outlet. She is the outlet. She can take the ball and push the pace for her team.
That's already 4 turnovers for Minnesota through the first half of this first quarter. Essence Carson in. Nice look from Parker. And now a 3-second violation against LA, as it looked like Gray or Carson got caught in the paint. So Sims, Gray, Ogumake, Carson, and Parker are the 5 for LA. Starting lineup remains intact for Minnesota. Nice look to Brunson, who finishes.
Again, that's because Candace Parker is shading over towards Sylvia Fowles. So once again, Brunson open.
And 6 early points for Rebecca Brunson. Deflection from Minnesota. Parker finds Ogumake, who puts it in. Just her 3rd bucket outside the paint of this series. Moore the pocket pass. Brunson, not that time, but was fouled, and Rebecca Brunson will shoot 2, and she has the kind of activity early that she had in the Game 4 win.
And these are the things that are going to be there. You see Candace Parker, where are her eyes? She's looking around on the floor, trying to help. Her idea is to be on help defense. Rebecca Brunson comes in from the weak side and gets the score. We've seen that throughout the course of these finals, Ryan.
Well, if it's going to keep happening the way it has so far in this first quarter, where Brunson is effective on the offensive end, does Parker have to adjust?
Yeah, absolutely. She has to stop thinking so much help side defense, find Brunson initially, and then perhaps wait until Sylvia Fowles catches the ball before she comes over to help.
Rebecca Brunson with 8 points, LA with just 6. It's a 13-6 Minnesota lead. Brunson can become the first player ever to win 5 titles if Minnesota wins it tonight. Moore comes over the steal. Pushing ahead to the rim. Got it to go. Minnesota dictating early. A 9-point lead. Timeout, LA. Well, Maya Moore had a couple of huge defensive plays at the end of Game 4. A big one early here in Game 5. Her Lynx lead by 9.
Welcome back to Minnesota, where the Lynx lead by 9, much because of Rebecca Brunson coming off a terrific 18-point, 13-rebound performance in Game 4. She has had the attack mindset again, not simply settling for jumpers, but finding herself in the paint for finishes. If you want to leave me fine, I'm going to make you pay.
For a little more on the veteran, let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, veteran is right. At 35 years old, Rebecca Brunson, one of the oldest players in the league with 4 championships. She said right now it's hard. Physically, it's hard to rebound from game to game, but she said, I feel like I am willing my team. She believes that as she goes, her team will go, and she is willing them with every bit of energy on the board, scoring, taking whatever's available.
And she has averaged 15 points in their wins, just 4 in their losses. She has 8 so far tonight, Holly, and is indeed the 3rd oldest player in the WNBA.
I love the quote from Cheryl Reeve before Game 4. She said, we are at our best when Rebecca Brunson is doing Rebecca Brunson-like things.
And when Maya Moore is doing Maya Moore-like things, Minnesota's pretty good as well. LA trying to find some answers. They missed a couple of bunnies on their first few possessions and have not gotten a lot of good looks since. Sims to Parker, 4 to shoot. Parker trying to create, finds Beard for 2. And a big shot there from LA just to try and stem the tide.
LA is at its best offensively in the half court when they are moving and cutting and have spacing. And that time they had all of those things.
Here's Moore. Agumake came with the help. Moore floats away and hits. 8 early points from Maya Moore. Parker will take. No.
That's a settle. That's a settle. That's a shot that LA can get much later in the possession.
Montgomery can't connect. Parker the rebound. That was something that China Robinson detailed for us before the game. As Agumake catches, finishes, plus the foul on the home run pass from Parker.
Candace Parker with a spectacular quarterback-like pass. Eyes up the whole time. Look at this. Over Renee Montgomery, perfectly placed right into the paw of Nneka Agumake, and she finishes with contact. Oh, that's your 6'4" forward making that pass.
Nneka Agumake has really taken a beating these finals, going up against Sylvia Fowles in the post, as you see Essence Carson and Candace Parker checking out for LA. Nneka actually told Holly this is the most physical basketball she has ever been associated with.
Well, she's going against a much bigger and stronger Sylvia Fowles, and it's not an easy task.
Natasha Howard in for Minnesota with Montgomery, Perkins, Fowles, and Augustus. Moore gets a breather. Agumake gets the steal and is fouled by Montgomery as Sims was blasting forward. And now LA wants to check whether or not that should be a clear path foul. Hey, shop WNBAstore.com now to represent the LA Sparks and the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA Finals. And be sure to visit either team clinches to score your championship gear. WNBAstore.com, one store every team.
They forgot the if.
Yeah.
If either team, or when either team.
Are you suggesting this could be a 12 overtime game that goes in?
Yes. They forgot the when.
Oh, yes.
They forgot the when. I wouldn't mind a 12 overtime game, though, frankly.
No, not the way these teams play. Agumake connects. So after 2 buckets outside the paint, all finals, Nneka has 2 already in this first quarter. It's a 6-point game. Agumake with 7 in the quarter. Top pocket 10. And that's another steal for LA. 6 turnover for the Lynx. Lavender flashed open for a second in the paint. Here's Sims. Plenty of time to operate for LA. Sims breaking down Augustus and got the whistle.
Odyssey Sims wants to go left to her strong hand. I don't know how many possessions, though, LA wants to end with Odyssey Sims just trying to go one-on-one.
For a little more on Simone Augustus, let's check in with Holly.
Well, Simone Augustus is really fighting through some things. She had her knee drained of 55 cc's of fluid, according to her head coach, Cheryl Reed, yesterday. And here she is playing in Game 5 of the finals. She had both knees drained just around Labor Day. She's fought through that through the playoffs, but...
Pulled her up, said, no, you're on the side watching.
Then take it easy. 7-0 LA run. They are within 4. Shot clock at 10. Into foul. She's surrounded and fouled. And Sylvia Fowles' first field goal attempt will not even be recorded, and she'll get free throw attempts instead.
This is something we've consistently seen throughout the course of this series. When Jantel Lavender comes in and defends Sylvia Fowles, Minnesota looks to exploit that because Lavender can get caught on fouls back, whereas Agumake is a little more active with her feet, getting around to knock away entry passes.
Now, Fowles has actually struggled from the line in this series. Entering this game, just 8 of 14 before that make. So now obviously 9 of 15, but she's a very good free throw shooter, 77% on the season. Lynx as a team have struggled from the line. As Fowles gets the roll in the second, they have not shot over 70% in any of the 7 playoff games yet this postseason. Beard driving, forcing, and not hitting. Probably not the best decision from Beard, although she had a full head of steam. Here's Moore back into the game with a flash, a shovel. Fouls, gathers, and throws it away. Turnover number 7 for Minnesota this quarter. Gray weaving and finishing, plus executing the 2-for-1.
And one of the things you saw there is Simone Augustus ineffective defensively. She is absolutely not moving the way we saw her move in the earlier part of this series.
So you wonder if Cheryl Reed's going to have to make a tough decision there when it comes to minutes and one of her trusted veterans. 4-point game. Minnesota is led by as many as 11 in this quarter. 4-second difference, game and shot clock. Whalen will fire. No. 5 seconds to operate for LA. Gray gets it up the floor. Parker will take and hit at the buzzer. Big bucket from Candace Parker and a strong finish from the LA Sparks at the end of this first quarter.
LA has been most effective when Candace Parker has gotten touches and touches in the open floor, behind the back, around
5. And moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with Sparks head coach Brian Agler.
Well, Coach Agler, when Candace Parker is running the floor off a break, getting the basketball like that, how does that impact your team?
Well, she's extremely important for us because she's so versatile. You know, she can score and she can facilitate. But it all begins by getting stops. You know, we weren't doing that early in the game. And we were a little bit passive on the offensive end. So I'm hoping this will generate some energy for us.
Your defense did change. You got more deflections and you got some 50-50 balls there. How did you feel that energy change?
That's important for us. The intangible things are going to be the difference in the game.
Thank you, Coach.
Ryan, one thing, when you want more energy, you pick up in full court defense. Often that's a way to get your team energized on that end of the floor.
One thing Sims will have to be careful with in regard to that, she has 2 fouls as Augustus floats it home. Now, they did take a long time in the break reviewing that bucket from Candace Parker, whether or not it was good or not at the buzzer. As you can tell from our scorebook, it obviously stood. So a 13-4 run for LA ended the quarter as Minnesota scores the first two of the second and now forces a turnover. Augustus finds fouls. Wide open Perkins. Off the mark. Hasn't hit a three yet in this series. Is more battled, but Sims wins the rebound. Parker finds the open player. It's Lavender, who also has not connected from three in this series.
I think Parker needs a touch almost every time down the floor for offensively for LA.
I don't know how much you can afford to have her on the bench in this game. So far, Brian Agler hasn't, but for a few seconds. Shot clock inside of 10. Gray wants a screen, gets it from Lavender. Wasn't a good one. Perkins fought over it. Three to shoot. Lavender on the drive, lays it in as nobody came over to commit to help.
Something we don't see very often from Jantel Lavender. She's usually a face-up jumper kind of post player.
She's pick and pop.
Pick and pop, yes. Or sometimes just pop.
Lavender making Gray hit the deck. Now Sims came with the help, but left Moore, who is deadly from there and couldn't hit. Here comes Sims, charging forward. There's a touch for Parker, backing in, more foul, and sold that. And Candace Parker has a smile on her face as the foul is called.
Candace Parker has the size advantage against Maya Moore, posting her up. Oh,
there is nothing there.
Really sold this big time. Candace Parker did not lower the shoulder. She did not lean in.
To the naked eye, it didn't look like anything. And now a technical foul called on Brian Agler. And Sue Blau made the call on one end and then got an earful from Brian Agler and eventually gave him a tee. Augustus cashes in. But Brian Agler obviously had a right to be upset on what was an inaccurate call.
Especially because throughout the course of the finals, we've seen Candace Parker get into foul trouble and have to play with fouls in the first half. And while that's only her first, he doesn't want her to pick up any unwarranted fouls.
It's been a very well-officiated finals in general. Augustus on the curl, banks it up too strong. Brunson, no. Augustus, yes. And a big swing there from the offensive foul to the tee to the second chance points for Minnesota. Beard on the move. Sims the drive, the kick. Beard's jumper off. Good tap back from Agumake. Sims floater is denied by fouls. And here comes Whalen. Second block for Sylvia Fouls. Moore slips right around Beard and banks it in. Lead is back to 7 for Minnesota. Going to be a foul on Brunson, and Brunson is reasonably upset as well.
Was she pointing?
It hit Candace's foot, I think.
Dribble off her own foot.
Yeah, I believe Candace just dribbled it off her own foot, and Brunson got hit with the personal instead. Parker's three off the mark. Agumake back tackled to right to Brunson. LA has missed their first 7 from deep. They've made this a 2-point game with the basketball, but 5 straight from Minnesota, who led by 11 at one point in the first. Whalen a bomb. No. Long board, and there's Brunson again. Moore will take off. And a nice box out from Agumake on fouls. Lob inside. Parker somehow gathered and got the whistle on an ambitious delivery from Odyssey 6. And you see Candace Parker asking Elena Beard if she's all right as her teammates help her to her feet.
Candace Parker, this series, while she's a three-point shooter, only shooting 18% from the three-point line. Where she's effective and why she's at the line is when she can get inside, in particular putting the ball on the floor, putting pressure on the defense.
6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for Parker. Now, we've noticed in these finals, Rebecca, this particular series, Parker has looked visibly more spry and has made a much clearer impact on the game when she has had more than 1 day of rest. We saw it in Game 1, Game 3, and now so far in Game 5.
This player throughout the course of her career has battled through a variety of injuries, and you know, anyone who's played the game knows when you have a little more rest and your body feels good, you are going to perform better, and I think that's been the case throughout the course of the finals for Parker.
Agumake got a hand on it, but Minnesota controls as Parker goes 1 for 2. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Augustus switched on Parker as Brunson fell. Now Agumake comes over the top, knocks it away, still 5 to shoot. Moore, patient, the swing, no. Opportunity here for LA. Down 6. Gray on the drive. Oh, couldn't get it to go with the left hand. Faded a little further away from the hoop. Here's Alexis Jones, the rookie. She threw it away. Williams, the pull-up is good. And Cheryl Reed will take a timeout as Williams cashes in transition. A 4-point contest. Second quarter action of a do-or-die Game 5 in Minneapolis. And these two foes exchange.
Baseline jump shots. So when we draw, we've done our job. And we kick, and then the people on the baseline, no hesitation, y'all shoot it.
Candace Parker talking about draw and kick, dribble, penetrate, and kick. And we had a conversation with Brian Aguilar at shoot-around this morning. He said at every level of basketball, youth basketball to the NBA, when you get a touch in the paint and then kick out, the shooting percentage goes way up. It's so effective because then you get a mismatch and an easier look.
More blocked from behind by Carson. Gets it back. Can't finish. Parker the rebound.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Brian Aguilar, take it easy. Williams into the paint. Bounce to Agumake. She can't finish. And the rebound caroms out to Moore.
It wasn't a baseline shot, but it was a dribble penetrate and a little drop-off.
Agumake has 7, Parker has 7, 8 for Brunson, 10 for Moore, just 2 for Sylvia Fowles. Augustus just forced it up there. Great D from Agumake, and here comes Parker. Already with 6 rebounds. Williams, the drive, the pull-up, can't stick the landing. Augustus thinking about going one-on-one on Agumake. Trying to cross her over. Can't finish. LA will live with that all day.
Right now, Minnesota with a much smaller lineup. Maya Moore at the 4. That's what puts Agumake on Augustus.
Great effort by Whalen, diving on the floor for the loose ball. And it'll be a jump between Raquana Williams and Lindsay Whalen. Now the MVPs so far tonight. Here's the production as Sylvia Fowles checks back in. Agumake, Parker, Moore, and Fowles all have won league MVPs. Parker, Moore, and Fowles all have won finals MVPs. Fowles has done it on the glass. She has not yet gotten her opportunities offensively.
But the defensive attention Fowles has gotten has given opportunities to Rebecca Brunson for Minnesota.
Whalen 5'9", Williams 5'7". This is something Cheryl Reed worked on after she didn't like how her team handled jumps in Game 4. And this one, they win. And Whalen is harassed and fouled by Raquana Williams. And Lindsay Whalen trying to fire up her squad. Telling Maya Moore, let's go, and getting right in her face to show a little emotion.
you see Lindsay Whalen you saw the jump ball at one end, diving on the loose floor, and no one has command of this crowd more than Lindsay Whalen, who played her college basketball in this arena.
It was a star here. It's fouls. Doesn't get the roll. Brunson can't put it in. Another chance for Sylvia, who does finish. And once again, Brunson and fouls just mammoths on the offensive glass. An 8-1 edge in offensive rebounding for Minnesota. Parker on the roll to the rim, puts it home.
So effective when LA gets pick and rolls with either Chelsea Gray and Candace Parker, or Odyssey Sims and Candace Parker, with Parker going to the rim.
Here's Moore, now on Beard. Here comes Sims with the help. Whalen is alone. Off on a three, rebound kept alive. Brunson to fouls. What else is new? Augustus will take. An 11-0 edge, second chance points for Minnesota. Agumake forced it. Loose ball. Lynx have it. And Moore is fouled by Agumake. Well, the Minnesota Lynx doing all the little things. Second chance opportunities created by Brunson and fouls. The emotion after 50-50 balls. Lindsay Whalen has been winning. And Simone Augustus getting in on the act as the Lynx have been able to fend off the Sparks so far in this first half. Really crushing them in second chance points. 11-0 the edge as Candace Parker gets a breather for LA.
This continues the theme from Game 4, combining Games 4 and 5. 25-8 is the offensive rebound advantage for Minnesota.
Fouls, draws two, spins in, and finishes.
It's like she can sense that Chantel Lavender's on her, and she is going to try to score over her.
Lavender was not able to handle Griner in the semifinals, and she just has not been able to handle fouls here in the finals. Obviously a tough assignment. As a foul inside is called against Sylvia Fowles, her first. Cheryl Reeve told us she did not show her team any footage of last year's Game 5. Didn't even reference Game 5 last year other than to say jump balls were a factor. Gray alone gets the roll.
And right now with Candace Parker getting some rest on the bench, Chelsea Gray is going to be the player that LA will look to create things on the offensive end of the floor. 4
points for Gray. Lavender that time tried to come over the top and is called for the whistle. And that'll be the third team foul. So the first in the last 2 minutes against LA. The next one will put them over the limit. You know, one more thing on not showing the team Game 5, Cheryl Reeve says, she said, look, it's incredibly painful to watch, and I want them in a good frame of mind.
Yep.
Fouls, draws a swarm, 4 to shoot. Whalen on the move with 2 to shoot, pumps it in. Here is Gray on the drive, gets denied by Moore. Augustus the spin, the floater. No, another offensive rebound for fouls, and the finish. Lavender's 3, missed it. LA 0 of 8 from deep as Agumake on the second chance earns her way to the line. Coming up with the WNBA halftime report presented by State Farm. Holly Rowe looks at how 2 stars have been intertwined for many years and will have the best sounds from the first half.
Fowles and Parker intertwined.
It's a really interesting story, their roots, so you're going to have to stay tuned for halftime because nobody tells it better than Holly.
Come on.
As Parker checks back in. Parker's been effective. 9 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Fouls, has 10 rebounds and 8 points. As Agumake goes 1 for 2. Rebound batted around and won by LA. 2-for-1 opportunity if they hurry, but Sims seems content to make sure it's a good one. Lob inside. Parker puts it down, plus the foul as Brunson came over.
Candace Parker just back into the game. Once again, effective going towards the basket. Just slips right behind, fouls, perfect pass. Brunson over late for the foul, but beautifully delivered, beautifully finished by Candace Parker.
Third foul on Brunson. And Parker completes the three-point play. She has 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Also executed the 2-for-1. So LA should get another possession here as they look to climb out of this hole. 7-point Minnesota lead. Whalen is fouled by Sims. And LA is over the limit, so that's going to send Minnesota to the line. And that's number 3 on Odyssey Sims, who probably got a little too aggressive there.
Well, that's what Odyssey Sims does, is she gets up in your space as the on-ball defender, and she's been effective doing that at times in this series, and then at other times, Lindsay Whalen has used her veteran savvy to use it against her.
We talked about Whalen, who's a star here at the bar, the University of Minnesota. And we'll talk to her today about if she's taken any time to reflect on how this will be her final game ever in this arena. And she said, well, no, because I never thought I was going to play one here again. Lynx has been forced here because of renovations to the Target Center and have made it their home. But she said the thing that she thinks about coming in here is those summer practices and workouts and the smell and the sweat and how she spent so much time bonding with her teammates and becoming a better player in this gym.
One of the things that's interesting about it, former players, when you go back to the university and the gym where you played, it's the smell more than anything that takes you back to those moments that you were just describing.
Minnesota scored on its last 6 possessions. They lead by 9 in a do-or-die game 5. 5 seconds left in the half. 3 seconds left. What a find from Parker as Agumake finishes, plus the foul.
Sylvia Fowles right now frustrated with her teammate because she picks up another foul. How many times has LA been able to have success drawing the defense out and then quickly going back? Oh, it's because she didn't know that the back screen came from Chelsea Gray. Now that's Gia Perkins' responsibility to let Fowles know the back screen is there and then to help off until she can recover.
Agumake finishes the three-point play. 2.3 to operate. Whalen on the move, will fire, and that will do it. An exciting first half of basketball. The Lynx built an 11-point lead. LA cut it to 2. Minnesota swung back. This on the glass overall, a +7 in offensive rebounding, a +10 in second chance points, and an edge in the paint for Minnesota. Now LA got a terrific effort from Candace Parker in that first half. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. She scored or assisted on 20 of the Sparks' 35 points, and you'd think that she'll very much be a part of the blueprint if they're going to win this game and have a comeback in the second half.
Yeah, without question, Candace Parker needs to have the basketball in her hands, making decisions. But, you know, and it's most effective when LA gets a stop on the defensive end. She gets the board and can come down and lead transition the other way.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about, Minnesota's bench was incredibly ineffective in their limited minutes in that first half. They're the oldest team in the league. Could fatigue play a factor for their starters with heavy minutes down the stretch of this game?
I think the key will be if they find themselves in a deficit and really have to expend energy to make a comeback, that's where you might feel it.
Augustus will increase the lead to begin the third. Simone Augustus, after having her knee drained yesterday, as Holly detailed for you, has 10 points. And that pass is denied by Brunson.
Candace Parker telling Odyssey Sims, bounce pass. That's a situation where you need a bounce pass. It's easier for Brunson to come around the top than slide around the bottom.
Umake and Parker each in double figures. No other member of the Sparks with more than 4 as Brunson denies Parker. Beard saves, 2 to shoot. Gray has to put it up and did not get it off in time.
How about 6'2" Rebecca Brunson sending a message? You know Candace Parker is going to be trying to take it in the lane. She gets a piece of that beautiful block. It's not just the block, though. It's all right. I'm here to defend my home paint.
Playing with 3 fouls is Brunson. Aggressive still and a big block there. Beard hit the deck. Whalen did as well. And that is going to be a blocking foul against LA as Whalen works her way to the stripe.
Did Beard hit the deck because one of her teammates was trying to get through to the defend?
It might have been,
her own
yeah.
teammate pushed her over.
And for Agumake, it's her second.
And it's always a great sign for Minnesota when Lindsay Whalen has the attack mentality. We've seen that a few times here in this game where she's passed up a perimeter shot so she could drive inside.
She has 7 points, 4 assists. We asked Cheryl Reeve for an X factor in this game, and she said, we need Way to score some, meaning Lindsay Whalen, who orchestrated beautifully in Game 4, didn't necessarily score, but so far she has put in the necessary points. 8 of them with another free throw coming. And Minnesota is now 9 of 9 from the line as a team after shooting it at just 63% all postseason. In the regular season, they did shoot it at 79%. So this is more their norm. Beard on the drive, denied by fouls. She lost it. Shot clock did reset as Beard and Whalen get tied up. And we'll have our second jump ball of the night.
How about Sylvia Fowles continuing to protect the paint? Minnesota, the past 2 possessions. Rebecca Brunson block. Now you have a Sylvia Fowles block. That makes the offensive team more reluctant to go in there, especially smaller guards when they know the help side's going to be there. You still play crisscross, jump, don't you?
Oh, yeah. You hear it when we go on our jogs and I DJ for us.
That's right.
Parker too high off the window, couldn't put it on. Whalen, full head of steam. Try to pick her way through the traffic. Augustus, too strong, rebound, knocked into the arms of Gray, and a foul that'll stay right here. Agumake and Parker went up in traffic with Sylvia Fowles. And a loose ball foul called against Los Angeles.
LA knows they have to get their body on Rebecca Brunson and Sylvia Fowles.
I mean, how is that a foul on anybody?
I don't think it's a foul on anybody, but if it's a foul on somebody, you'd think it'd be Fowles.
Parker might have gotten away with some contact there. Now Fowles will kick it back out. Moore connects on the delivery from Whalen. Largest lead of the game for the Lynx. It's 13. Sims will take. Can't hit. LA still seeking their first 3 of the game.
The way Minnesota is rotating defensively, LA is going to have to make some of those threes, some of those open threes, Ryan.
Fouls out of the double. Not a good look. Brunson was there, threw it away. But how about this dish from Lindsay Whalen and Maya Moore?
Lindsay Whalen doesn't often get too fancy, but when she does, her teammates like to call her Wheezy. That was a Wheezy pass right here, and Maya Moore, she knows after that kind of pass, I better make my shot.
That's off of the foot of Gray. It'll stay with Minnesota. 9 to shoot. The Lynx lost Game 5 on their home floor a year ago at Target Center on a last-second putback from Neko Agumake. Brunson blocked by Parker, leading the break. Nice down-court feed, and Sims will put it in.
Saw tired Sylvia Fowles and a tired Maya Moore retreating that time defensively.
And you wonder, will fatigue at any point play a factor for these starters who have built more of a cushion? Pass denied as the entry was intended for more. Here's Sims. The floater is off, but she was pushed from behind. And 2 free throws coming for Odyssey Sims as LA looks to add to their 14-2 fast break point lead.
And that's because of turnovers. I mean, that's where LA thrives, is when Minnesota turns the ball over. Minnesota thrives when they get their second chance opportunities.
Sims, an excellent free throw shooter. Hits the first. Join us for our NBA preseason tip-off game, the Sacramento Kings versus the Los Angeles Lakers from Las Vegas, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
This is what happens when we no longer have a slate of WNBA games. We're looking forward to the NBA preseason.
That's right.
Are you calling that game?
I am calling that game.
Without me.
Doris Burke will be hanging out.
Oh, well, there you go.
Congrats to DB, now full-time NBA analyst for us. You know she's watching tonight. And a whistle away from the ball against LA. And if that's Nneka Ogwumike, that's her 4th. And it is. So Ogwumike has gotten hit with 3 personals in the first 3 minutes of this third quarter.
She continues to try to battle and fight against Sylvia Fowles. What a rebound by Rebecca Brunson!
And Ogwumike had to be careful on the help initially and then the rebound, knowing she's playing with 4. Gray forced it up, but in. And LA could really use Gray getting going. 9-point game, Minnesota leads.
Gray, a very capable offensive scorer, led the WNBA in 3-point field goal percentage this season.
Here is Whalen. Switch with Ogwumike. Shot clock at 7. Parker steals the pass. And now Moore will foul Parker in transition to prevent the opportunity, because as Rebecca has detailed, that is when LA's offense is at their best. Just the first foul on Moore and the second team foul against Minnesota. Is there any way for LA to keep Minnesota from dominating this battle on the glass?
This has to be a concerted effort getting bodies on people, and it might mean your guards have to get in there too, because oftentimes when Minnesota, they're not going up and grabbing the rebound right away. It becomes like a little bit of a tip drill. That's where they have the advantage. Sylvia Fowles, the biggest player on the floor, but the guards might need to mix it up more for LA.
Moore gets a breather for Minnesota. Sims the spin, can't finish, but is fouled, and Odyssey Sims works her way back to the stripe.
Is that foul on Renee Montgomery or Sylvia Fowles?
That's on Fowles, her 3rd personal.
That was a silly reach in. As a post player, you do not want to get a foul reaching in. If you're going for the block up top, that's one thing, but you don't want to get it on the reach in.
And remember that sound we played for you earlier from Cheryl Reeve before the game, talking about how, with all due respect to Candace Parker and Nneka Ogwumike, it's about Sims and Gray, and that's who they have to stop.
I think she really likes her defensive matchup with Fowles and Brunson on Ogwumike and Parker. I think she knows that she might be a little vulnerable in terms of dribble penetration from LA's guards.
Sims has shown that a couple of times in this third. The lead is down to 7. Fouls. Backing in, denied by Parker. A cutting Perkins, can't finish, but a blocking foul against LA. And it's against Odyssey Sims, and that will be her 4th.
Candace Parker just fighting and trying to prevent Sylvia Fowles from doing much. And we've seen this throughout the course of the series. If Fowles draws defensive attention,
You turn. Come on now. Keep playing.
Minnesota, when Minnesota gets cutters through the lane, they have success. We saw that a lot in Game 4.
So now Fowles is 3, Brunson has 3. For LA, Ogwumike and Sims both with 4 fouls, and both still on the floor. As Brian Agler has shown all postseason long, he trusts his players to play with fouls.
All postseason, all regular season. This is not something new for the LA players to be on the floor in foul trouble.
2 points from Gia Perkins, the first bench points of the night for the Lynx. Gray gives it up. Great look to Parker. And Chelsea Gray has had some gorgeous dimes to Candace Parker.
They're so effective in the pick and roll because Gray has size and can see over the defender and deliver to Parker, who has size.
6 points, 5 assists for Gray. Parker has 14 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Had her first career triple-double in the regular season as Montgomery can't connect. Beard, great job. There's that gang rebounding to help secure for LA. Here's Gray, the crossover, gives it up. And it's time to operate, and Parker just had it taken away by Brunson. Now Beard takes it right back for LA. Gray on the move, looks off the pass, and scoops it in with the left hand.
Chelsea Gray is a dangerous player on the offensive end, can get her team going, can score in bunches.
It's a 5-point game. Augustus lost it out of bounds, LA basketball. A lead that at 12-12 is down to 5, thanks in large part to Chelsea Gray.
Chelsea Gray with 2 of her 8 points. Big guard, finishes inside. Pretty play.
Barn is packed as the Lynx lead the Spark 51-46. Well, Chelsea Gray bringing LA back right now. It is a miracle that she's even playing in the WNBA. Her junior year of college, she dislocated her kneecap. Her senior year of college, she fractured her kneecap, and it had to be replaced with a piece of bone out of her hip. The Connecticut Sun took a chance on drafting her, and she was out of basketball for almost 3 straight years. But the hometown native in LA, Brian Agler, said, I finally picked her up because she killed us every time we played against her. Now she's leading them in the finals.
Making a nice pass to Parker. It last hit her leg, though. Knocked out of bounds. Remember, it was Chelsea Gray who hit the game winner of Game 1. The step-back jumper, a difficult look, but ice in her veins, a career-high 27 points to give LA the win in Game 1. And it's a remarkable story that Holly just told about Gray and her persistence as Montgomery rounds in for 2.
How much confidence does Chelsea Gray's teammates have in her? That last play, Candace Parker told Brian Agler, run it for Chelsea Gray.
Sims, pass knocked away. Fouls on the steal. Minnesota on the move. Montgomery gives it up. Fouls, patient. Perkins. Pass. 4 straight out of the timeout for Minnesota.
How good has Minnesota been playing around Sylvia Fowles in this game, whether cutting to the basket or spotting up on the perimeter?
Odyssey Sims was trying to call the timeout for a couple seconds, finally got it. As she provides a much-needed bucket for the Sparks.
Brian Agler calling her the X factor when we talked to him before the game because of that ability to hit it face-up jumper.
Moore can't answer. Rebound Parker. Parker running the floor. And the offense through traffic. Too much of it. And lost it as Minnesota just converged at the same time on it.
Swarming. Maya Moore and Rebecca Brunson swarming defensively.
Montgomery, the kick. Brunson. And a nice box out from Candace, but she arrayed the rebound. And it stays here with Minnesota. Another hustle play for Maya Moore.
Maya Moore came from the opposite side of the floor to go over and keep that basketball alive, Ryan. It keeps this crowd alive. You know, there's a lot of arenas that are loud. This is one of those places when it's rocking, you can feel it in your chest.
Moore's turnaround is off. We've seen Maya Moore the last 2 games with so many different huge intangible plays. So used to just her scoring. And Brunson and Parker really got into it, and Brunson finally in with a personal. That's her 4th and the team's 4th.
Rebecca Brunson is vital, and it's not just because of what she does on the offensive end, getting to the offensive boards. It's what she does defensively. Oh, that looked like Candace Parker pushes Brunson's arms up.
Close.
Brunson had her.
I think Brunson might have extended with the forearm. But those two have been jockeying all game. Sims got hit. Odyssey Sims has been at the line a lot this third quarter. Will shoot 2 more. Let's check in with Holly.
Williams Arena is sold out tonight. I've had my decibel meter out. The loudest it's gotten in here about 109. A diesel truck. It has been very loud. The thing I love about these fans here in Minnesota, even the obstructed view seats were sold. Behind the DJ booth, there are 3 seats that you can barely see the floor. Those are sold. That's how much fans wanted to be in this building to watch their Lynx tonight.
Hey, well, Holly, we've seen these teams have a tough time hearing the horn at different moments. And we talked with Brian Agler as well as different members of the Sparks about how they were going to deal with the noise in here. And they said tight huddles, making use of dead balls, that's when you have to communicate, and you have to communicate well.
Are you going to ignore the fact that Holly Rowe has a decibel meter on her phone?
What doesn't she have on her phone?
or in her bag of tricks.
She is your real-life Mary Poppins. I'm just thankful she's on our team.
You know what? I've seen her with my children, and that is true.
If there was ever a word to describe her, supercalifragilistic espion. Fouls, hooked it up, and over 2.
She started that hook shot from her waist and still able to finish it over multiple defenders.
Back to 7. Lavender a 3. Missed it left. Rebound. Batted around into the arms of Carson. And another chance for LA. They've been able to stay around 5, 7. Haven't been able to really cut it much closer. Carson can't either. And Beard, that's going to put LA over the limit and send Moore to the line for 2.
Sylvia Fowles has been a beast all season when she catches the ball in the paint and has defenders on her back. And you'll see her here. Lavender's there. An extra defender comes. She bobbles the ball a little bit. Ryan still collects it enough to finish inside.
Sylvia Fowles has been terrific and consistent in these finals. We were talking to her today about Game 5 last year, and if there was anything she took from that game that she's thinking about in regard to this one. And she said rebounding. We didn't rebound the final 2 minutes of that game, and that is why we lost. She has certainly rebounded tonight, 14 of them to go with 10 points. As Moore now has 14 points to go with 8 rebounds.
Fowles talked about how it's so important for her to stay calm. Cheryl Reeves texted her the night before every game. Last night the text simply said, stay calm.
Gray on the drive, got around Perkins. Lavender connects. A player Brian Agler told us would have to have a big contribution off the bench for them to win this game.
It's her game, picking and popping, picking and popping.
6 points in 8 minutes for Lavender. Fowles got the position, and Beard could do nothing but that. That'll be number 3 on Elena Beard, and Sylvia Fowles will go to the strike for 2.
Normally in those situations, Sylvia Fowles would have to pass it back up top to get the angle. But look at how the weak side is cleared out. The other 3 Minnesota guards are around the perimeter. All of them are threats there. She had lots of space to catch and put it up.
Minnesota 13 for 13 from the line in this game. And now 14 of 14. We told you before, but we'll tell you again. In the 7 prior playoff games of this run, Minnesota has not shot better than 70% from the line in any of them. This is a team that shot it at 79% as a group during the year, and they finally missed one tonight.
Just like a man. Tell you before and then tell you again. You got it.
Parker trying to use her size on Moore, went to the left hand.
Beautiful. She has the advantage there. Minnesota, small lineup, so Maya Moore's got the defensive assignment on Parker.
16 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists for Candace Parker. 2-for-1 opportunity for Minnesota is about to expire. Moore's jumper off, rebound Beard, and LA can hold for 1. Brian Agler trying to communicate that and finally was able to get the message over to Chelsea Gray. Minnesota is over the limit as Perkins hawks Gray. Shot clock turned off. Gray, the drive, the jumper, gets the roll. And the lead for Minnesota is down to 4. 2.9 to go in the quarter.
No foul, no foul, no foul.
Augustus will get it off. And that is how the third quarter will end. A title on the line. Will it be a repeat or will it be redemption? A 4-point contest after 3. The Stars.
Fourth quarter keys to a win.
Well, I'm not going to say what I usually say, Holly. I love this answer. Okay, but we got to hold on to our lead. That's the key to it.
Thank you.
Cheryl Reed showing some humor in these tense moments of Game 5. LA starts the quarter with Candace Parker on the bench. Gray with the shot clock fading. Couldn't hit and fouls the rebound, her 15th.
Fouls takes up so much space inside. Total space eater. It's one of the reasons she's able to collect so many boards.
As tightly as this series has been played, there have been just 4 total ties and 7 lead changes in the entire series, none of which have occurred tonight. Whalen connects. What a Sammy bucket from the bench. And a foul goal the other way against Elena Beers. And that'll be her 4th.
Lindsay Whalen working so hard on this possession, fighting off Juana Williams, falling away. Ooh, she's made a few of those here in Williams Arena.
Every member of the Minnesota starting lineup in double figures. Nice look from Augustus, and fouls, puts it in.
Again, when the defensive assignment on fouls is Jantel Lavender, she's been able to get inside and bury her.
Williams, a 3 is good. First 3 of the game for LA, who had missed their first 10, and it comes at a much-needed time. Five-point game. Moore was able to fingertip it, and that is going to be a foul, and either way, it's number 5 on somebody. Beard or Agumake, and it's Agumake's 5th. See Nick letting Brian Agler know, I have 5, I have 5.
And Agumake going to the bench is important for a couple of reasons. One of the main ones, she is their best rebounder.
Moore just caught LA sleeping on the inbound. Parker and Lavender were still communicating, and they were a step behind Maya Moore.
Still talking about who has who.
And now Sims throwing it over Parker's head as LA just unraveled on back-to-back possessions. After that substitution. And now Candace Parker and Chelsea Gray both trying to calm down their group. Brian Agler will do so with a timeout. Two to shoot. Brunson can't hit. Rebound LA on a solid defensive possession. Here comes Sims. Gray will pull up. Smooth stroke from Chelsea Gray.
This is the reason Cheryl Reed told her team before the game that she was concerned about Chelsea Gray, her ability at her size to hit that pull-up jumper.
Minnesota has led from the start of this game. Double comes. Whalen looks off the pass, sneaks inside, and banks it up. For the Minnesota native. Parker, a 3 is good. Candace Parker had missed her first 3 from deep, but connects there, and it's a 4-point contest. Parker fighting through screens to stay with fouls. 5 to shoot. Sims came up with a steal. Whalen hooks Sims. No call. Fouls. Scoops it in. Plus the foul.
Candace Parker cannot believe a foul is called here. Great hustle. We've seen this throughout the course of the game. Good finish. Not much contact at all here. Spin around. To me, that's incidental contact.
And Candace Parker rightfully upset. Also, Lindsay Whalen got away with rushing back Odyssey Sims on the loose ball. When she lost that ball, she cleared out Sims with her right hand to get back to it.
What are they reviewing?
I'm guessing they're going to review whether or not she got it off in time. And then, of course, you'd also determine whether or not the foul was before or after the shot clock. She definitely got it off.
So that's all that matters. She gets it off. You've called the foul, so the foul stands.
Right. If you're wondering, well, when they see there's no foul, can they overturn it? No, the officials cannot overturn that. So they're just making sure the foul occurred before the shot clock expired. But clearly, and obviously the ball was released in time, clearly both happened before the shot clock expires, and it is going to be a chance for an and one opportunity for Sylvia Fowles.
And just because Parker had her hand on Fowles' back, that doesn't mean it's a foul. You can have your hand on a player as long as you're not pushing them or displacing them, so I don't understand why a foul was called then.
They shop WNBAstore.com now to represent the LA Sparks and the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA Finals, and be sure to visit either team for the clinching gear. Whoever wins the title, WNBAstore.com, one store every team.
Clinching gear, that sounds painful. We still need to get the Holly Rowe bobblehead sold at the WNBA store.
Still working on that.
Would you buy clinching gear? I think you like your stuff loose fitting.
Yeah, that's true. That sounds like it would be a little tight to the body. A three-point opportunity not completed as Parker able to corral the rebound, but did she step out of bounds? She did. And now Parker's going to say, hey, I'm getting jumped underneath.
Is there more contact there, or less contact than when we saw Ogwumike get the foul on Maya Moore?
LA probably has a gripe on this time down the floor. Augustus catches it in. Minnesota taking advantage of the opportunity. A 4-point possession. 8-point Lynx lead. Carson closed on by Moore. Shot clock's at 3. At 2, Gray got it to go with the foul. A resuscitation bucket from Chelsea Gray.
Good things are going to happen when you put Chelsea Gray and Candace Parker in a pick and roll situation, because you have to help, and then the defense is in a mismatch situation, and Chelsea Gray finishing inside.
And I don't know that there was any contact here. Maybe Brunson got Gray on top.
But it's the same thing we saw on the other end with Parker and Fowles.
Obviously being called very tightly right now.
Yes, and there you saw it called similarly both ways.
And that is number 5 on Rebecca Brunson.
She got it.
So now they're going to go back to the monitor just to make sure this too got off in time before the shot clock expired. It was close, but it looked like Chelsea Gray did get it off in time. Our officials tonight: Sue Blau, Roy Gulbayan, Byron Jarrett, Jeff Wooten is the alternate.
Here we'll get a chance to take a look at it one more time. It looks clear to me that the ball is out of Chelsea Gray's hands before the clock goes to 0, before the light on the backboard lights up, out of her hands. That's a good 2. I mean, so similar to the shot on the other end with Sylvia Fowles and the foul by Candace Parker.
Now, Sims and Gray were held to just 6 points combined in the first half. They have 17 already in the second half, and that was the key Cheryl Reeve told her team just before the start of this game.
LA has been running their offense through Chelsea Gray here in the 4th quarter.
Number 5 on Brunson. As Gray tries to complete the 3-point play. And does. 5 on Beard, 5 on Agumake, 5 on Brunson with 5:45 to go in the fourth quarter of Game 5. A championship on the line. Parker went for the steal, deflected. 7 to shoot. Brunson will, and it's hit! What's the foul? And if that's Agumake, that's your 6th. And it is.
Minnesota is at their best when Rebecca Brunson is doing Rebecca Brunson-like things, and this is one of them. You got hit on the elbow. They're going to call that foul. She has been in an aggressive mindset. Game 4, here again in Game 5.
There's not a lot, but that is absolutely the right call. You hit the elbow like that, it's a foul. And it's number 6 on Nneka Agumake, who's so important to this LA team. How do the Sparks survive and try to overcome this deficit without her on the floor?
They're going to continue to do what they've done, and that's involve Chelsea Gray and Candace Parker in pick-and-roll situations. Let Gray come off, make for decisions. Minnesota really hasn't had an answer for that lately.
Brunson makes it an 8-point game, 13 points, 7 rebounds for Rebecca Brunson. Here is Gray with that pick-and-roll with Parker. Gray can't hit that top. Wants it, gets it, dishes it. 8 to shoot, back to fouls, finds Whalen, off the cut, foul. And Lindsay Whalen will shoot a pair.
With Agumake out of the game, the Sparks now have Parker on Sylvia fouls. Jantel Lavender on the opposite side. When the ball goes into fouls, what's the #1 rule, Ryan? You get a player cutting from the high side as soon as the double team comes. It comes from Sims. Whalen cuts. Good things happen.
Lindsay Whalen, 13 points, 8 assists, a chance to add to it. Hits the free throw. So often the question has been asked, when is the window going to close on these Minnesota veterans? Cheryl Reeves had to answer that question for 3 years. And it's Whalen, Brunson, and Augustus who are contributing huge tonight in support of more and fouls. Whistle underneath that you couldn't even hear as Augustus and Parker got tied up. That'll be just the 2nd team foul on Minnesota. LA is already over the limit with 4:46 to go.
Talked about the Minnesota veterans. They sure are representing the AARP well.
Oldest team in the league. Gray, a 3. Off the mark, long board, out to Parker. Another chance for LA. Down 10. Gray needs help. Finds it in Sims. 5 to shoot. Parker on the drive, lost it. Here, shot clock expires. And LA turns it over.
When Candace Parker lost the ball, Maya Moore looked over at the official because it's so loud she didn't know if there was a foul called or not.
Minnesota always has an incredible crowd. But Williams Arena adds even more juice to it. This place is rocking as Gray comes up with a deflection. Sims in transition, held up by Whalen. And we will have another jump ball on an outstanding defensive play by Lindsay Whalen.
Odyssey Sims thrives in open court situations. Whalen knows she's going left. Just a poke of the hand and able to save an easy 2 by Odyssey Sims. Lindsay Whalen, not the quickest player on the floor, but she has savvy and she has made some smart veteran plays here today.
Now, it's Sims and Moore who will jump it, not Sims and Whalen. Advantage Minnesota. Parker kept it though. Denied up top by fouls. We'll back it out. 4 minutes to go. Minnesota by 10. 5 to shoot. Gray will. Short. Rebound. Fouls. Her 16th.
The team defense has been outstanding. Brunson gets caught on the switch, so foul says, all right, I got your back. I make sure I secure this defensive board.
They're starting to sniff it here at Williams Arena. Parker the steal. LA won't go away. Parker accelerating. It is tripped up from behind by Moore. Third team foul on Minnesota, just the second on Maya Moore. Raquana Williams going to check in for LA, come get Elena Beard. As Brian Agler searches for answers with Nneka Ogwumike having fouled out.
Raquana Williams brings more offense and the ability to consistently hit three-point shots. Right now, Brian Agler needs offense to make up this 10-point deficit.
Parker. Brunson playing with 5 fouls. Lavender along 2 is off. Rebound, Sylvia fouls. Her 17th. Tying a finals record she set earlier this series. Augustus didn't get it over in time. And an 8-second violation against Minnesota.
LA has the ability to turn up their defensive pressure. Minnesota needs to find their primary ball handler, Lindsey Whale, and let her get it over.
3 straight turnovers for Minnesota. They have 16. LA has turned it over 17 times. Three minutes to go. Sims with space, leans in, couldn't finish. Almost like she sought the body instead of the bucket. Now Moore with some haste. And that is going to be a timeout from Cheryl Reeve in Minnesota. 2:49 to go. The Lynx leading by 10. Well, Sylvia Fowles told us before this series started, the emphasis she had was on rebounding after last year's finals. She has done so in this series, and she has done so tonight. 18 rebounds, a new finals record, topping the 17 she had earlier in this series.
Just been gobbling them up. 7 of those rebounds are on the offensive end of the floor.
Minnesota talked about it last year. They were 1 defensive rebound away from winning a championship. Instead, it was Nneka Ogwumike's putback that won it for LA. Now Minnesota's 242 away from their 4th title, leading by 10. Now clock is at 3. Augustus connects. Augustus has 14. Fouls has 15. 13 for Brunson. 16 for Moore. 15 for Rayleigh. Gray kicks. In the corner, Williams will take. It's a 3. No. And the Lynx are 2 minutes away. A 7-0 Minnesota run. Fouls. The turn. Denied by Parker. LA seeking a little life as time runs out on their season. Gray gives it up. Lavender puts it in. It's back to 10 with 1:31 to go. Brian Agler was looking for a trap that didn't come. 1:20 to go. Augustus looking like she wants this shot. Didn't connect. LA has to hurry. 1:05 to go, down 10. And Sims is hit as she tried to throw it up. And they will confer on whether or not this foul's on the floor or the shot. Did she begin the upward shooting motion before the contact? That is the deciding factor.
Here's a chance to take a look. Does she have the upward shooting motion? No.
Didn't look like she had gathered either. An easy side, out of bounds ball. Parker, the kick. Williams is hit and will take 3 free throws as Moore undercut her.
Interesting, the last 3 possessions, it looked like LA is really trying to look for the 3-point shot, even though they could go for easy 2. They got the easy 2 last time with Lavender, but here, Maya Moore, she's still going towards Raquana Williams.
Now they can go to the monitor and make sure that her toe was behind the line here, but it doesn't look like they're going to. It was very close, but 3 free throws for Williams, who hits the first. And so LA still with a heartbeat. 56.9 to go. Hey, after we're done here, stick around for SportsCenter at Night with Butchie and Briscoe. They'll have a full breakdown of our game with post-game reactions. All the highlights from the NL wildcard game. SportsCenter at Night coming up next on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. And, of course, we will also have the trophy presentation. Williams missed it intentionally, and foul secures it. Timeout taken by Minnesota.
I don't understand the rush that LA is in right now. The last few possessions looking for 3-point shots, not looking for 2s, and then to do that there's still 56 seconds left in this game.
And so the attempt at the intentional miss not executed properly. Minnesota secures it. LA forfeits the point. And they lead by 8, the Lynx do, with 55.8 to go. In all series long, one of the trends we've seen, Rebecca, is the team that has gotten the clear and decisive edge from their starters has won the game. And a lot of times that's meant every starter in double figures. Tonight, that's what's happened for Minnesota.
Yeah, Cheryl Rivas tightened her bench up even more, and we were wondering if that would lead to fatigue, and LA never able to take that lead. It made Minnesota exert the extra energy, so it has not impacted her team.
Don't foul this way right now. Don't foul right off the bat. Got it? How many timeouts? All right, we got 2 timeouts. If we get a steal, we're going to no timeout. Let's make transition, okay?
So LA looking for a steal off the inbound from Minnesota. And you can see Candace Parker say to the officials, we are not trying to foul.
And that's smart, because a lot of times, because teams are trying to foul in the situation, the official will be quicker with their whistle.
Really savvy communication from Candace Parker. Now can LA, who has forced 16 turnovers tonight, force a 17 and keep the heart beating? Tyre Brown on his feet. Whalen trying to dribble out of the double. She lost it. Sims on the steal, and Sims will lay it in. 6-point game. 46.5 seconds to go. Timeout, Minnesota. A 6-0 run from the Sparks.
We've talked about Odyssey Sims and her ability to defend on the basketball. The double comes. Whalen tries to get around. Sims continues to move her feet. Whalen simply loses her balance. Great defense by the LA Sparks. Send the double team, get Whalen off balance, and Sims finishing the other way.
And a smart move from Candace Parker to make sure the officials knew we are not trying to foul, even if it gives you just a little more leeway.
Because if the official thinks you are trying to foul there, they'll be quicker to blow the whistle.
And now LA certainly not trying to foul. Down 6, 46.5 to go. Minnesota 1 timeout remaining. Here is Whalen. Doubled again. Trapped again. Passes out of it. Loose ball. Fouls, able to wrestle it back. And she throws it away. Here's Sims. Sims on the drive. Lays it up. And in. Plus the foul. A remarkable turn of events as this 4th and this championship winds to a
Once again, just the ferocity of the LA defense on the side, out of bounds. Sims coming the other way, plenty of contact, finishing to her strong side.
An 8-0 run that has taken place in 57 seconds. This is a one-possession game. A 9-0 LA sprint.
Right here, we're within 3. What do you want to do?
Minnesota spends its final timeout. Let's listen into Cheryl Reed now.
Hey, extra roll. Wait, go that way. Higher. Yep. They're coming at the board to trap.
Make sure we're not retreat from the ball.
We have no timeout. We have no timeout.
You heard Brian Agler asking his team, do you want to foul or you want to go again? You want to play defense, and you heard them all saying back, let's go again. They are feeding off of their defensive fire right now.
Both teams over the limit. LA with 2 timeouts, Minnesota with none, meaning Maya Moore has to get this in. Her team leading by 3. Moore bounces it. Augustus has to save it and does. Now Fowles is trapped. Here is Moore. LA can play it straight up. Moore connects. A 2-possession lead for Minnesota. What a play by Simone Augustus to save this, as it looked like Minnesota was going to turn it over again.
LA did their job. They got in a frantic defensive possession. Maya Moore had plenty of time, but when you have a player like Maya Moore who can create, even when off balance, even when your team is in hectic scramble mode, pushes it to a 5-point lead.
LA uses a timeout. They have 1 remaining. Now, if you're the Sparks, you're down 5. You're looking for a quick 2, or you going to 3?
I think either way. I think you're looking again to get Candace Parker and Chelsea Gray involved in some kind of screening action. They've been so efficient, the 2 of them together. Odyssey Sims also capable three-point shooter. Sims not in, yeah, she is in. She's a capable three-point shooter, but I look for Chelsea Gray and Candace Parker.
LA is 2 of 15 from 3 in this game. They have to get it in bounds. Sims 3. No good. Rebound Fowles. And she is fouled. Rebound number 20 for Sylvia.
Minnesota also knowing that LA wants to get the ball into Gray or Parker. Great job denying those 2. Sims very capable from hitting that 3-point shot, but can't get it to go. And fitting that it comes to a defensive rebound for Sylvia Fowles.
You knew with these 2 teams, neither would ever go quietly. A torrid 9-0 run from LA made this a 1-possession game. But a huge bucket from Moore, and now Fowles at the line with Minnesota up 6. And now 7. LA will not use its final timeout.
They're looking for a 3 on this possession.
Gray stops, delivers. Parker can't hit. Rebound Brunson. Ahead to Fowles. Parker will hit Whalen with 8.3 to go. Many wondered, was last year the final gasp for this Minnesota core? But they are 8.3 seconds away from an emphatic not yet. Minnesota, with 4 of the 5 oldest players in this league, are about to add their 4th championship in the last 7 years to the trophy case. All of Williams Arena on its feet. Seconds. 3 seconds. No seconds. That's it. Title number 4 for the Minnesota Lynx dynasty comes with the taste of sweet redemption.